All right, thanks for clicking. Welcome to my channel and to this video. Today we're going to be installing this solar floodlight right here, maybe up there. We'll have to check it out, but basically for security, we want this thing to automatically turn on, and we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be installing a floodlight in the backyard here. We've got one currently set up, but the problem is changing it is a real pain in the butt because it's kind of a sloped backyard and it takes quite a bit of ladder to get up there, and there's not a great place. So I definitely regret putting it at the end there. So we basically are going to be installing a solar floodlight. Here it is right here. So solar powered, so no wiring or anything like that. And we're going to be putting it along this wall. We've got a two-story home here. We're going to be putting it somewhere over here. So some considerations, because it's obviously solar. It's kind of looking at where is the sun during the day, because you want the sun to be hitting the solar during the day, fully activating and charging the battery, right? Because when the sun goes down, you want that to be fully charged so it can, operate flawlessly during the night. So let's get this actual light unpackaged, and so you can see kind of what we're dealing with, and then we'll go ahead and get installation started. By the way, welcome to the channel. Do lots of home projects around the house, saving you time and money. Click that subscribe button. I'd put out videos regularly. Like this video and share this with somebody that you know. And if you want to make your own YouTube channel and turn your hobbies into real cash every month, check out my course. You can click the link in the description below. All right, so we've got the product here. Let's get it out on the table. This is brand new, and this came in a 2-pack, so we've got basically two of everything here, and I'll put links in the description below like I always do for supplies and materials that you see in this video if you are interested in picking up something that has high quality reviews and won't break the bank. That's my philosophy when I do research on projects, and this one, products I should say, and this one made the cut for sure. So again, 2-pack, and I want to say it was like 30 bucks for the two, so you really can't beat that. The question is it well made? Well, we'll see. It appears to be well wrapped out of the box and no blemishes, dings, cracks, or anything like that. We've got several LED lights and a solar panel, and there's three different modes to this, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. You can control this with the remote, but here's kind of a better look of what it looks like outside. Now, as far as operation, we've got 3 different LED light panels, so to speak, 2 sides and then one in the front. So you can adjust those and swivel those to the degree that you want, and there are limitations on the degree. The solar panel itself on the top kind of swivels, and then of course you've got your mounting piece that goes into the mounting bracket on the back. All right, as far as supplies go, we've got things out of the box. This is the remote, the mounting bracket. We're going to use 2 screws. We've got the actual light with the solar panel attached, obviously, and that's one piece. You don't need to put it together or anything. It's just like that. We've got tape measure, we've got a marker, we've got our drill and a bit because we're going to be pre-drilling our holes, and we've got some 100% silicone because if we're drilling holes in the side of the house, we want to make sure that is airtight. We also have a stepping stool or a stepping ladder, depending on where you need to go and whatnot. And let's take a look at our location. I'm looking at putting it possibly on this corner. See the sunlight right there? If I poke around the corner, that sun will slowly start, and by the afternoon, late or early evening, the sun will kind of come way over here and basically allow the solar light to charge for several hours before nighttime comes on and the light is needed. So I think that'll be a good location. How high up? We're going to do about 9 feet from the ground, out of reach so nobody can, touch it or whatnot, but not high enough where it's, too high. So let's, with that said, go ahead and get the stool over there and we'll get things pre-drilled and get this hooked up. Now, before we get it over there, let me show you how this mounting bracket works. So this thing will slide, kind of pivot up and down like that. And then here's the mounting bracket. Once we put this on the wall, we'll be able to slide that in just like that, and it should click, giving it enough clearance. And then there's a little pin down here. If we need to remove that, you press the plastic pin and slide it off. That's how that basically works. Now, one thing I recommend, since this comes in a 2-pack, is taking at least one of them and putting them out before you install it, putting it in the sun. Make sure that is facing up toward the sun so it can actually charge up, so you can test out the light before you actually install it to make sure it has adequate coverage kind of in the area that you want it to shine in. So that would be a little tip, as opposed to getting it installed and then charging it only to find out, hey, it's not shining exactly where I want it to in my yard. So just make sure that switch is turned to off. It's only a one push button. So click it and then it cycles through the various stages, and then make sure it's just in the off position, and then it shouldn't turn on at night. Just leave that out. Make sure it doesn't, well, I guess it could rain. What's the big deal? But let that charge up sufficiently. So let's get this hooked up. We've got the tape measure to measure the appropriate height. All right, we're gonna put that about right there. It should be out of reach for the common person. So I'll put some marker holes right there. Okay, got my two pencil marks right there. So we'll go ahead and pre-drill those. All right, we're going through our vinyl siding, and there's going to be wood on the other side of that. All right, make sure that's straight. All right, so you notice it's kind of hollow back there, but when we put the screws in, that should tighten up well. Now we're going to put some 100% silicone in there, because rain, you don't want rain getting in there and then dripping down inside on the underside of that vinyl. So that's what's next. All right, and that kind of shot out of there. We'll get that cleaned up, but basically a nice little glob up above. Then we could take some of this, not up above, but inside those holes, and we can take some of this, and what I like to do is wrap this around the actual screw itself. So let me show you how I do that. So pretty easy. Just gonna put, it's kind of a hot mess, but put a little bead around there. So when it is screwed into the hole, that should seal the threads and push that caulking to the base of the head right there. So that should give it a nice watertight seal. All right, and I'm gonna preload this. We want this tab facing down. We're gonna drop that through the hole like that, and then I'll put the other one in there as well. Probably got a little too thick, but that's all right. Better to have too much than not enough. Okay, so those are kind of hanging out in there, so that should be pretty easy to apply or to put in. So let's bring this over to the hole, and we just kind of line it up like that. And I'm gonna get my drill, put the camera down, get my drill, and get those started and pushed in there a little bit. And that should give it a nice secure positioning. So I've got those started. The most difficult is getting a little leverage to make sure those are in far enough. But you can see it pressing. All right, I'm gonna clean those heads out, because if that caulking dries, it'll be kind of hard to get this out if I ever want to take this off. But you can see for the most part, it's pretty darn tight. So I'm happy with the installation of the base. Yeah, so use the silicone sparingly. You can see it's kind of messy to clean up, but All right, that should be pretty good. Yeah, that's real secure. That's not going anywhere. All right, now we take the light, make sure the solar part is facing all the way up, and that bracket should slide in just like this. Yeah. Make sure that clicks. Slide my hand back there. Yeah, that clicked. Okay, so and then you can angle these out a little bit. And then the solar panel tilts like that to receive the, I'm gonna tilt it out like this just a little bit, just so water doesn't hit it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now I could put some caulking around the outside of the mount so that water doesn't get in between there, but I'm pretty confident that those two holes that we made are gonna seal out water, and then anything else could kind of drip out there. So I think that'll be good, just like that. Now we're gonna make sure it's on the off position, and we're gonna let it, ooh, look, a plane, nice. We're gonna let it charge for like 2 or 3 days without turning it on, just to make sure the battery's fully charged before we start using it. If it only gets, you know, halfway charge or an eighth or a quarter or whatever it is, then that'll obviously affect the ability and the performance of this when we need it during the nighttime. So initially we're just gonna let it charge for a few days, two or 3 days, and then we should be good. And that's what the instructions recommend. All right, we've got some pretty good sun that is directly shining for hours and hours, slowly charging that up to where it should be. All right, we're gonna assume this is fully charged now, and let's put it to the test. We have the remote, and there you're gonna find 3 different settings, 1, 2, and 3. 1 is basically really bright light that is motion detected and auto turns off when the motion leaves after a certain number of seconds. And then number 2 is dim light motion detection, and number 3 is like consecutively on if you just want it to be on for like, and it has like an operation of 4 hours if it's just on throughout the night. So don't plan on it being actually on, you know, all hours of the night. I don't really plan on using that stage, but okay, you can see the light right here behind me. I'm gonna sneak up on it real slowly and see if it can turn on, detecting my motion. Here we go. Yeah, I didn't get very far that time. Let's try it again. It's like super bright. All right, the first one is done. I'm gonna apply and install the second one on the other side of the screened-in porch here. So does require the ladder. I'm gonna put this up a little further, and hopefully I only have to do this once. Again, no wiring or anything like that with this solar light. So awesome, and installation literally only takes 15 minutes tops from start to finish, I would say, depending on your, you know, supplies and setup. But here I am installing the second one. Pretty simple. Get the mounting plate on just like we did before, and then it slides into place. And overall, this is an awesome purchase with easy installation. And hopefully this has helped you out. Thanks.